Alright, this is going to be a video on this 1993 Heritage Lancaster ceiling fan I got back in 2020 as a gift from my grandmother to me when she decided that she didn't need this fan anymore. This is the oldest fan that I have currently installed in my house. It is my second oldest fan, with the oldest fan being my Lakewood down here, second generation from 1983, so 10 years before. This is my second oldest fan, my 1993 Heritage Lancaster ceiling fan. As you can see, this fan is in pretty decent shape, although it is a little bit dirty. But yes, today we are going to obviously do a run and review of this ceiling fan from 1983. So let's start on the high speed. Although the fan is kind of old and it does have a slight wobble, it does get to speed pretty quickly, although there is a bit of a hum. As you can probably hear, there is a lot of airflow going on. It's a pretty decently quiet ceiling fan. And given that it's a very old fan, and that it was not really taken the best of care when its first two original owners, it does still indeed spin pretty fast, and it does deliver a lot of air. Now we're going to medium speed. There's a nice medium speed. It still blows a very good amount of air. This is where the wobble gets a little bit bad, but despite that, it is still working pretty good. Now we're going into low speed. This is where the wobble gets a little bit noisy, but then stabilizes into this near perfect stance where there's no wobble. This is a nice, I want to say 70 RPM low speed. As you can probably see, this low speed is very nice, it's very gentle, and best of all is that it still blows air even on the low speed. Now we will go back to turning off, and we'll do a spin down time from low to off. Next, I will go over the pros and cons and what I'll rate this ceiling fan out of 5 stars, as well as some general information. Starting with the pros, this fan is very well built. It was built in the early 90s. The metal they use is very thick. And even though this fan was never pampered, even when it was brand new, as you can probably see with all the grease stains and the paint chipping from years of usage, and the fact that the fan is a very high mileage fan from 1993, it is of course still very much a fan that is still stood the test of time for many years, and it is still working even today. As you can probably see, I really love the filigree on the sides. It's very beautiful. It makes the fan have more character, and it makes it more unique. I also really like the responsiveness when you are using the pull chain, because you don't have to rely on remote control, and you don't have to rely on using what is essentially a small radio controller with their battery to turn on or turn off your ceiling fan. Another pro is that this fan is a GE vent ceiling fan, which obviously I've always been a fan of GE Vents type ceiling fans for a very long time. I also, again, the build quality on this thing, it's nice and thick. It uses some very good metal. I also like the tulip glass. I think it's very nice. And I especially love the white and brass finish. As for the cons, there is, as you can see, there is of course degradation of the actual paint itself, which is a little worse than usual, especially given that this fan is only about 32 years of age as of 2026. Another con is that the blades are not original. These blades, I believe they are Seagull lighting blades from the late 1990s, because on the bottom is white, on the top I think it's light oak. Another con is that unfortunately, because this is a modified light kit from, I believe, Volume Lighting Company of Hong Kong, which obviously it's made for US use, which is 120 volts. There is no pull chain because the pull chain, I believe it broke many years ago. So I do have to rely on either unscrewing or screwing the light bulbs in or out of a actual light kit in order to get more or less light. And probably the biggest con of all is that this fan is off balance. There is a bit of wobble because of the fact that during transport from my grandmother's house to my house in late 2019 or early 2020, one of the blade irons got bent, and even when I bent them back into shape, it was never, and it will probably, unfortunately, never be as good as it was from the factory once it rolled the assembly line in 1993, because, again, it's been 32 years, and obviously 1993 was a very long time ago, and obviously it's 2026 now, so this fan is pretty old, but it's still working great. And of course, another con about this fan is that it's very dirty. I need to clean it, and hopefully, if I can fix the wobbling, I can probably repaint the fan to look better again. Overall, I would have to give this fan 4 out of 5 stars. It's a very good fan. It still works very well after all these years, and even though it's incredibly high mileage, as you can see from how the polished brass finish has tarnished and degraded over the years, it's an easy fix. You can just, you can easily paint over a new set of polished brass to repair and fix the problem of degradation and to restore the fan into near mint condition as it was in 1993 when it rolled off the assembly line 32 years ago. Thank you for watching, and subscribe to my channel, and bye.